Welcome to my channel, Swords and Scepters. Today we are diving into a fascinating topic. Let's get started.
The Nile, a river of life, a source of sustenance, and a cradle of ancient civilizations, has long been a symbol of fertility and prosperity. Its waters have nurtured the lands and people along its banks for millennia, giving rise to cultures and histories that have shaped the world. Yet, amidst its life-giving flow, the Nile has also borne witness to unimaginable darkness. The river, with its serene surface, has seen the rise and fall of empires, the clash of armies, and the suffering of countless souls. In the heart of Africa, where its waters flow through the lush landscapes of Uganda, a dictator rose to power. This land, rich in natural beauty and resources, became the stage for a brutal and oppressive regime. His name was Idi Amin Dada, a man whose name would become synonymous with terror and tyranny. Amin's rise to power was as swift as it was brutal. He was a man of immense cruelty, a tyrant who ruled Uganda with an iron fist. His regime was marked by violence, fear, and a relentless pursuit of power. Amin's reign was a horrifying chapter in human history, a testament to the depths of depravity that power can breed. Under his rule, Uganda was plunged into a nightmare of extrajudicial killings, torture, and ethnic cleansing. Born in the early 1920s, Amin's exact birth date remains shrouded in mystery. His early life was one of hardship and struggle, growing up in a time of colonial rule and societal upheaval. His early life was harsh, marked by poverty and violence. These formative years would shape the man he would become, instilling in him a ruthless determination to rise above his circumstances. He found purpose in the military, rising through the ranks of the British colonial army. His physical prowess and unyielding nature caught the attention of his superiors, setting him on a path to power. Amin's physical prowess and ruthlessness were evident. He excelled in boxing, becoming a heavyweight champion, a testament to his strength and determination. He excelled in boxing, becoming a heavyweight champion. This achievement not only showcased his physical strength but also his ability to dominate and intimidate. But beneath the surface of this imposing figure lurked a darkness that would soon consume Uganda. His rise to power was marked by a series of ruthless actions, each more brutal than the last. The world would come to know Idi Amin as the Butcher of Uganda, a cannibal dictator responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands. His regime was characterized by a reign of terror that left an indelible mark on the nation's history. His reign was a nightmare of extrajudicial killings, torture, and ethnic cleansing. The fear he instilled in the hearts of the Ugandan people was palpable, and his actions left a trail of devastation and sorrow. The Nile, once a symbol of life and prosperity, became a watery grave for countless victims. The river that had given life to so many now carried the bodies of those who had fallen victim to Amin's brutality. This is the story of Idi Amin, a chilling reminder of the fragility of peace and the human capacity for evil. His legacy is a stark warning of what can happen when power is unchecked and the darker aspects of human nature are allowed to flourish. Uganda, a landlocked nation in East Africa, is a country of stunning natural beauty and rich cultural heritage. Its diverse landscapes range from the snow-capped Rwenzori Mountains to the vast Lake Victoria, the largest lake in Africa. Uganda gained independence from Britain in 1962, a moment of great hope and celebration for its people. The streets were filled with jubilant crowds, waving flags and singing songs of freedom. However, the young nation, eager to forge its own path, was soon plagued by political instability. The euphoria of independence quickly gave way to a series of power struggles and conflicts. Tribal tensions simmered beneath the surface, as different ethnic groups vied for power and influence. These divisions were often exploited by political leaders to further their own agendas. The post-colonial dream soon turned into a nightmare as the country descended into chaos. Economic decline, social unrest, and widespread corruption became the order of the day. Amidst this turmoil, Idi Amin, a high-ranking military officer, saw an opportunity in the chaos. Known for his imposing stature and charismatic personality, Amin was a man of ambition and cunning. He had cultivated a close relationship with Milton Obote, Uganda's first prime minister, positioning himself as a loyal supporter. However, Amin's loyalty was a fickle thing, driven by ambition rather than principle. Behind his affable exterior, Amin harbored grand ambitions. He was a man who understood the power of perception and used it to his advantage, always plotting his next move. In 1971, while Obote was attending a Commonwealth conference, Amin seized power in a military coup. Tanks rolled through the streets of Kampala, and the government was overthrown with little resistance. The world watched with cautious curiosity as Amin, a charismatic and imposing figure, declared himself president. International news outlets covered his rise to power extensively, painting a picture of a bold new leader. He promised stability and prosperity, but his words rang hollow. The initial optimism among the Ugandan people quickly faded as Amin's true intentions became clear. Amin's true nature, that of a ruthless dictator, would soon reveal itself. His regime was marked by widespread human rights abuses, extrajudicial killings, and a climate of fear. He consolidated power swiftly, eliminating rivals and dissidents with brutal efficiency. Political opponents were arrested, tortured, and often disappeared without a trace. The military, Amin's power base, became an instrument of terror. Military parades showcased his strength, while behind the scenes the army was used to oppress and control the population, ensuring Amin's grip on power remained unchallenged. Idi Amin, styling himself as His Excellency President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji, Dr. Idi Amin Dada, VC, DSO MC, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the seas and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular, embarked on a reign of terror. His titles were as grandiose as his ambitions, reflecting a man who saw himself as a larger-than-life figure. Amin's rule began with promises of prosperity and stability, but it quickly devolved into a nightmare for the people of Uganda. He ruled through fear, silencing any voice that dared to challenge him. The streets were patrolled by soldiers who acted with impunity, arresting civilians on the slightest suspicion. The atmosphere was one of constant dread, where neighbors turned against each other and trust was a rare commodity. Amin's paranoia knew no bounds. He saw enemies everywhere, real and imagined. Surveillance became a tool of oppression, with secret police monitoring the activities of ordinary citizens. The fear of being watched was pervasive, and it stifled any form of dissent. His security forces, drawn from his own ethnic group and foreign mercenaries, were given free rein to terrorize the population. These forces were loyal to Amin, not to the nation, and their primary role was to maintain his grip on power through violence and intimidation. Arbitrary arrests, torture, and extrajudicial killings became commonplace. The instruments of torture were not just tools of pain but symbols of Amin's absolute power. Victims were often taken in the dead of night, never to be seen again, leaving families in a state of perpetual grief and uncertainty. The prisons, overflowing with political prisoners, transformed into gruesome torture chambers. These places, meant for justice, became sites of unimaginable horror. The cries of the tortured echoed through the walls, a constant reminder of the regime's cruelty. Amin targeted specific ethnic groups, particularly the Acholi and Langi, who he perceived as a threat to his rule. These communities faced systematic persecution, with many of their members being rounded up and executed. The ethnic cleansing was a dark chapter in Uganda's history, leaving scars that would take generations to heal. Thousands were murdered or disappeared. Mass graves dotted the landscape, silent witnesses to the atrocities committed. Families clung to the hope of finding their loved ones, but for many, closure would never come. Memorials for the victims serve as a somber reminder of the lives lost and the brutality endured. The streets of Kampala, once vibrant with life, became haunted by the specter of death. Businesses shuttered and homes were abandoned as people fled the terror. The once bustling city turned into a ghost town, where the silence was broken only by the occasional sound of gunfire or the cries of the oppressed. The Nile, flowing red with the blood of Amin's victims, became a symbol of his brutal reign. This majestic river, a source of life and sustenance, was tainted by the horrors of the regime. It stood as a testament to the suffering endured by the people of Uganda and the dark legacy of Idi Amin's dictatorship. Section 4. Whispers in the Dark, the Cannibal's Shadow. As Amin's reign of terror intensified, whispers of even more horrific acts began to circulate. Rumors spread of Amin's cannibalistic tendencies, of human flesh being found in his refrigerator. While these claims have never been definitively proven, they added a chilling layer to his already monstrous reputation. Former associates and victims who managed to escape Uganda told harrowing tales of Amin's brutality. They spoke of ritualistic killings, of Amin bathing in the blood of his victims. Whether fact or fiction, These stories contributed to the climate of fear and painted a picture of a man consumed by madness and bloodlust. These whispers, shrouded in secrecy and terror, became part of the Amin mythology. They served as a chilling reminder of the depths of depravity that power, unchecked and absolute, could reach. The world watched in horror, captivated and repulsed by the gruesome spectacle unfolding in Uganda. Section 5. A nation held hostage, the human cost. The human cost of Amin's reign of terror was staggering. Estimates of the number of people killed during his 8-year rule vary widely, ranging from tens of thousands to over 500,000. This period, known as the Uganda crisis, left an indelible scar on the nation's psyche. The economy, once promising, collapsed under Amin's mismanagement. He expelled Asian Ugandans, many of whom were successful business owners, further crippling the economy. Basic necessities became scarce and hyperinflation rendered the Ugandan shilling almost worthless. Beyond the physical violence and economic devastation, Amin's reign left a legacy of fear and distrust. The social fabric of Ugandan society was torn apart. The trauma of this period continues to haunt many Ugandans, a painful reminder of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of unchecked tyranny.
Thank you for watching Swords and Scepters. If you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated with all our new releases.